Ahsoka, episode 7. That's right, the penultimate of the day. The penultimate. I can't even say it. I can't even say it. Penultimate episode of Ahsoka. We've got one more
I don't even
left
know
after.
what the fuck you said then when you said it properly.
Penultimate.
Who the fuck says?
Everyone?
No, mate.
Kyle, you know you got a massive pair of balls on bottom of that mug.
Wait, what?
Yes, the penultimate episode of Ahsoka. We've got one more left after this. I really enjoyed this episode. I watched it first thing this morning, so I didn't get it spoilt for me. These
Americans.
Yes, there's one thing that irks me a bit about this episode, but I think they're going to resolve it next week, so I don't want to pile on it too much. So I'll just say it now, get it out of the way. This scene right here, when Sabine goes to hand Ezra his lightsaber, and he's like, no, the Force is my ally, it's cool. I was like, okay. But then at the end of the fight, he's picking up a blaster and shooting stormtroopers. So I was like, the Force is the ally of my ass. So I think maybe next week I might see a bit of a different side of that, so I don't want to pile on that right away. But yeah.
For me, I'll be honest, I liked the scene. I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. Ezra really getting entwined with the Force. It really shows that he's quite powerful. I've seen a lot of theories out there where he's not actually good, and I'm like, no, that's just I don't think that's the case with this character.
And do you know what I like about him as well? It's been about 10 years, like from Mr. Rebels, from Rebels to this. Because he hasn't been around anyone or all like that. He's kind of just stayed the same, and he hasn't grown as he's grown as a person, but he hasn't he's still got that young boyish charm about him that he had.
Yeah, I've never watched Rebels, so I can't tell. But I really liked this character. I thought this is pretty cool. He seems kind of wise. My only issue is with that whole Force scene is that it felt a bit
forced.
I thought he was What?
I said forced.
Oh Jesus Christ! No, it didn't feel forced. It was the case of how he used the Force. I thought it was going to be a bit more it was just basically force pushing people.
Yeah.
I thought he used it in really interesting ways. I thought maybe he's honed his thing. I thought maybe we were gonna see little stones rise up in the ground. I thought we were gonna see stormtroopers float up in the ground and then just slam down or something like that. See something really different with the Force. But no, it was just force pushing. Don't get me wrong. I like that he's he's really using the Force as his ally and using it to protect himself.
Yeah.
But I feel do you know when they get surrounded by the stormtroopers?
Yeah.
That's when I thought, oh, he's gonna lift up their weapons or lift up the stormtroopers or something, and he's gonna do something kind of not overly powerful, kind of like Starkiller from the Force Unleashed games. I'm not saying anything like that, but he's gonna maybe disarm them or just maybe do something a little interesting. But instead, they get surrounded. They're pretty much fucked. And he just force pushes people around.
Another great thing. I'll reel off a couple of great things now. Ahsoka versus Balin 2.0. I thought that were great. It was only a little fight.
It left Balin in a weird spot though, because it was where is Balin?
Well, I love this thing as well, where Balin has realised that he's on a completely different path to Shin, and he's like, on you go on your way and do this. I'm gonna. I wonder what Balin's up to. I really do. Because
that's the question people should be asking. Not is Ezra evil kind of thing. It's no, what the fuck is Balin doing?
Yeah, and then when he's fighting Ahsoka, he's like, I can't let you get involved. That were great. The last message that Anakin left for Ahsoka. I was like, oh shit. I actually really like that as well. Obviously you see one in Rebels. That he left for her. And this is, she says he made 20 of them and this is the last one. So,
I want to go through the whole 20, mate.
I want to see them all. You know, all the name drops in there. You know, you could Nate beginning at Clone Wars. You know,
And
and he
we'll
says
agree.
General Grievous, Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku, and he says you have to train harder than me because you know he knows he's so talented, and he's just naturally gifted with the Force. But yeah, it's always nice seeing
Oh,
Hayden Christensen.
absolutely. I was speaking to our friend. Well, he's my friend at work. Obviously, we've been to cinema with him. Obviously, I won't name drop him just in case he don't want that.
We're
But
friends. We're
we're
friends. No
friends.
matter what Kyle says, we're friends.
Yep. Um, and we were speaking about it. It was just like Hayden's like so underappreciated, man. Because like we say, Hayden was given the best that he could do with at the time with Revenge of
Yeah,
the Sith.
he'd give his
And
best at that moment in time.
and he did, and obviously my friend at work said like it really does like kind of go with the performance, and I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that, but really thinking about it now, Anakin's very much, in that film he was very like off balance in the situation that he was in. Maybe he was confident in the Clone Wars because he
Yeah.
was general. He had the title of general. He was a Jedi knight, and he had his own Padawan and everything. And he felt more, like
Well,
when you're around like her, Ahsoka. Obviously, she's a Padawan. He's gonna be a bit more like showy offy kind of thing. But then when he's around Obi-Wan, he just becomes a little bit more,
yeah, no, definitely.
nervous.
You know, at the time as well in Revenge of the Sith, you know, when that film starts, he has just said, you know, he don't know it at the time. He's just said his last goodbye to Ahsoka. You know, if that final 4 episodes of Ahsoka and Revenge of the Sith are just happening all at the same time, and there's so many nice nods going throughout it. Yeah, you know, he finds out he's got a child on the way. He's going to be a completely different person, and he's having visions that the person he loves is going to die. He's not been plagued with any of that yet. You know, he's had loss, his mother and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
he's risen above it. Some would say, well, after slaughtering all them sand people, but still.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I mean, it's just Hayden Christian, man. Hayden Christensen,
Haitian Christian.
Hayden Christensen
Yes.
is, um, I felt like, yeah, he was a bit underappreciated in maybe a couple of years ago. Now I feel like he's starting to get the love that he genuinely does
Yeah.
deserve. Because at the end of the day, and I feel sorry for the young Anakin as well, because I was watching the Phantom Menace. I think it was like last week, and I was just like, this kid isn't like annoying or whiny or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure Luke's more whiny than
Yeah.
young Anakin.
He was just doing what he was
And
told.
yeah, and it was just, I feel like it's the curse of Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
If it's a bad Star Wars movie, people are gonna really fucking hate it, and then years later, they're gonna turn around and say they love it, or the audience, like the younger audience, are gonna come up and say, "Oh, we watched this as a kid, we loved it, and we still love it now."
Yeah.
I can't lie, I'm not gonna, sit and lie and sit here and say, look, I can sit through the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, watch all the Star Wars movies in one go, because they weren't perfect. But I feel like when I started watching the Clone Wars, the first season, because I was trying to get up to the latest season with Ahsoka and everything. To me, when I watched that and then I went to go watch the Phantom Menace, I was like, this just feels like a little bit goofy, but it just feels like the Clone Wars, and
Yeah.
I'm starting to really, really fucking enjoy it. And again, I never thought the young Anakin kid was at all the worst choice for it. I thought he fits the role. He's a kid.
He did what Lucas wanted. But
Yeah, no, I feel
yeah.
like he did well.
But yeah. But some more great things about this episode. Obviously, the reunion between Ezra and Ahsoka. That was great to see. Thrawn again. Lars Mikkelsen. Yes. He
I need to ask you a question. Sorry. Where does this episode stand for you? Because I'm really, really interested in where.
I do not think so. I'll say this right now. I think this is a great episode. It does not reach the heights of episode 4, 5, and 6 for me. If you know what I mean. It's probably just under them, but we've had 3 great episodes in a row. And this one's great as well, but obviously there's, this is what I want to get onto though. This needs to stick the landing now. Because I really liked 5 episodes of Secret Invasion, and then that last episode was.
I say for me, it will 4 out of those 5. For me, with Ahsoka, I feel like it's currently for me. Other than the animated shows, I'm gonna say it's up there with the Mandalorian. Maybe not season. It's definitely better than season 3 of Mandalorian for me.
Yeah.
But this episode, you're gonna disagree with me. You've already disagreed with me. I think it's the second best episode. Not just because Anakin shows up.
A lot of people, from what I've heard, people. Someone else who I watch on YouTube. After I watched it, the episode this morning on my way to work, I watched his. He's just immediate reaction to the episode. He did like a 2-minute video. He says it's his favorite episode. Christian Harloff. He's a massive Star Wars fan.
The thing I loved about this episode was just the fact of it felt like there was loads of things around, so it felt like a really beefy episode. Whereas like other episodes felt like it focused on too much on this and then a little bit of that.
Well, I really love this episode. I do. I think it's a great episode. But we've just had a lot of great episodes, I think.
No, they're all pretty good. But for me, this is like hit a nice high for me, where it's like it's a really solid Ahsoka episode. Still has all these other characters in it that still felt core to the whole episode. So that's why it stands as the second best episode for me. Not people are going to be like, oh, because Anakin showed up, and it's like
it's a minuscule part in the episode, so it doesn't even affect it.
Yeah. It was just the action were great. Except for the force pushing stuff, I was kind of like thought he was going to do something.
Yeah, no, the fight 2.0 with Balin and Ahsoka, great. The fight with Ezra,
too short though.
Ezra. I think we're going to get a big one next week though. Ezra, Sabine, and Shin, that were great. Shin shits her pants and fucking runs off from Ahsoka. I thought that were pretty cool. But yeah, I do want to talk about Thrawn some more, because even though Morgan kind of sees it as a loss on the battlefield, he like calculates it in his head and he goes, this is an acceptable loss for the unexpected desertion of Balin, and he says
I don't think he says desertion. I feel like disappearance.
Yeah, something like that. And then he says, even though he says this has still furthered our main objective, which is to get off this planet, and there's one thing she can't control, and that's time. And the look on his face when he, finds out that Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan. Because Thrawn, Anakin was the person who brought Thrawn into the Republic back in the day. And Thrawn was one of the only people to figure out that Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker. Just because of the way he carried himself. So he knows that. And, like he says, if she's anything like a master, then she's going to be unpredictable. Which was great to see. And I really do think we're going to end the season with Thrawn winning. You can't have him go in Rebels and have a loss at the end of Rebels and then, Thrawn's coming back, and then, we beat him again. No, Thrawn is going to be the villain of that main Mandalorian verse film. Definitely. Lars Mikkelsen is doing it perfectly as well. And I know a lot of people are complaining about his weight. Fuck you. He's an old man. He's hard to stay in shape. I can't even do it now and I'm 24 years old. So, yeah.
It's not like he has to be like ring about or anything like that. The guy just,
Well, I think people are angry because Thrawn is canonically jacked. Keeps himself in shape. I'm not bothered about that with Thrawn right now. I'm bothered about his mind and his performance. And that's been perfect. So, yeah. And, even the stuff in the council as well. Let's just mention that stuff with Hera. and Mon Mothma.
What a fucking surprise it was for
Yeah,
C-3PO coming on. I was
yeah,
just like, oh,
it
3PO.
was nice.
Yeah, and he was in the seat of Leia. Oh, I just thought,
Yeah,
you hit me there. You hit me there. Like him taking over, being the substitute for Leia Organa.
yeah,
Oh, I just thought, literally, I was sat and me and Zara were watching the episode. Zara hasn't seen last week's episode, but so we just watched the recap of it. So I just wanted to jump into it. Obviously, we had to watch it early. But as soon as I saw 3PO, I was like, 3PO! Like,
yeah,
I was put a big smile on my face, man. Like, I was just like, it's just nice.
yeah,
It really made me feel Star Warsy in a weird way.
yeah.
Um,
And they also mentioned the retaking of Mandalore there,
yes,
and they
yes,
mentioned
yeah,
Moff
yeah, yeah.
Gideon.
Yep, to Mando season 3.
So yeah, that's give us a clear timeline now of where it's set.
Mm-hmm.
After that. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with this episode. Overall, I'm happy with this season. So far, they've got a stick the landing. And do you know what? In Dave Filoni, I have faith.
It absolutely will stick the landing.
Yeah,
I'd put money on it that it will. I don't think it's gonna be like Secret Invasion, where it won't. But it could not stick the landing. But I have really high faith in Dave
yeah.
Filoni. Absolutely.
Um, just a quick one for you. Sabine check. How are you feeling now? Obviously, you were starting to come around on her a bit more last week. What do you think of her in this episode?
Yeah, so a bit of context here for anyone who maybe not followed the reviews previously. I
Hey,
didn't like
Kyle, with the
Sabine.
biggest channel in the world, they saw the last review.
I'm just saying. I'm not the biggest fan of Sabine Wren in live action. I've not seen the show. I can't base it off of that. People love her in the show, apparently. I don't love her in the live action adaptation. I didn't think she was great at acting. I don't want to, obviously, I can't act to save my fucking life, but it felt very unconvincing, and the character wasn't making me like. I didn't hate the character. I didn't, dislike it. I was just like, I don't really care. There's nothing that's got me caring. But last week's episode that turned it around for me. I was like, oh, I kind of like this character a bit more now. I'm getting on board with Sabine Wren. And then this episode comes round, and to be honest, the thing the thing that I didn't like the most about it is that we didn't get enough Sabine Wren.
Oh, what did I
Yeah,
tell you at the end of that first
yeah.
episode, first two episodes? I said by the end of this, you will like Sabine. And do you know what? People might think I was mad about Ezra using the blaster because I want to see him use his lightsaber. No, keep that lightsaber in Sabine's hands. I
Yeah,
think
'cause
she would.
she will fucking sick.
She would great with it.
Oh
It's
wow, yeah,
I think we will see him with one in his hand by the end of the show. I know Dave Filoni won't cock tease us like that a bit, but I don't think it'll be that one.
yeah. With Sabine though, the one thing I'd really love to see, and I feel like that'd like not round off the character of me really loving the character or anything. I just feel like it'll add to Sabine Wren. Is it? What if she's kind of like in the Jedi Survivor game where you have all these multiple lightsaber stances, and one of them is lightsaber blaster. Sabine Wren,
Yeah,
that would be cool. Where she's like she's Jedi, but she's got Mandalorian roots, so she's able to and then
you know,
shoot away through
not
and
and
lightsaber away through.
I'm not saying anything bad as well because I think she's a gorgeous woman, but I want to see her put that helmet back on.
Okay. Yeah,
I want to see Mandalorian Jedi.
yeah, that would be
Yeah,
pretty badass. Yeah,
give to us what Din Djarin couldn't because he couldn't lift
that's it.
his sabi.
Um,
His
yeah,
sabi.
but I feel like if they do that, they need to give her a bit more of a roby look. Maybe some long robes, and then still have the armor pieces.
Well, they kind of did that last week, didn't they? When she were wandering. But yeah, the Sabine hot toy, is that a pre-order for you then?
I want to watch Rebels first, but so far, I mean, if I've got loads of hot toys I really want to get. Obviously Anakin Skywalker and Clone Armor now. That's been one that's been lingering in my mind a bit.
Yeah.
But I can't lie, you kind of put me off it because I was like, oh, I think it looks really cool, but you don't think the armor looks a bit weird. I'm like, I kind of like it. So
They need.
I know that.
I'd hold off because I think they're gonna do one for this.
No, I know. So there's obviously that I'd like to get as a hot toy format. Sabine Wren. Yeah, if I had a list of all the hot toys I wanted,
Should be on it.
um, should be on it absolutely. But do you know what? I don't know a fucking thing about Ezra's character. I'm gonna say Ezra Miller then. I don't know anything
We know a
about
lot
Ezra.
about him.
Well, we do, yeah. I don't know anything about Ezra's character. But the whole robe looks.
Well, you know that
It's
chainmail armor he's got there.
yeah.
That's Stormtrooper dog tags.
Fuck off, really.
Yeah.
That's dope. I like
Yeah.
that.
That's badass.
Okay, yeah, that's a hot toy. That's a hot toy. And do you
So-
know what as well? When he gets his hair sliced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa, she's going for the kill here.
Yeah. But definitely, obviously, love seeing Shin as well. Love Shin.
I know you do.
Balin. All great performances all round. Let's wrap this episode up because we're coming up to an hour. We've been talking for ages. But yeah, like the video, subscribe to our channel. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. When we hit 100 subscribers, we will be watching Morbius for 24 hours straight.
On a live stream.
Live Morbius, 24 hours straight. It'd be funny if we did that and if we did that and nobody watched it. So we'd be doing it for no. But yeah.
I think it will get some traction. I think non-subscribers will probably watch it as well.
Yeah. So yeah, Morbius for 24 hours. When we get to 100, that's by the end of the year. So if we hit 100 by the end of the year, we'll do that. Obviously we've gained some traction this week. You know, we're nearly at 60 now already, and we just did our thank you for 50 video at the weekend. So let's do it. So yeah, like, subscribe, share, all that good shit, and we will see you guys tomorrow. I think we'll do a video tomorrow because we're off to the cinema on Friday. We'll probably, obviously we're seeing the film at 6, so if we get home soon enough, we can probably do a review for the creator on Friday night as well, like an actual review instead of just a straight out of the theatre. Because we're gonna have to do 2 reviews on Saturday, Gen V,
Let's do an hour of the theatre. I enjoy them.
we'll do an out of the theatre, and we'll do a proper
The very first reaction kind of thing.
But right, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the love, and thank you for tolerating Kyle. Not many people can.
Thank you for my mic, Callum.
Yeah. I even give him the Spider-Man stand. You know.
No, you didn't.
I did. I said he can't have the stand I've got because I need it, and you know. But I'm
to hold up the chair.
No, to hold up my weight from underneath my gut. Anyway, we'll see you guys when we see you. Give him a wave, Kyle. Nice.